Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to the western shore of Maryland in St. Mary's County. So before we begin today's little adventure, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to the beautiful and charming community of Piney Point and St. George's Island, which are quietly nestled along the calm waters of the Potomac River and St. Mary's River. So after an hour and a half drive from Washington, D.C., we arrived to our hotel, the Island Inn, located in St. George's Island, and it's situated perfectly facing the Potomac River on one side and St. Mary's River on the other side, the back of the hotel. So this is a very budget-friendly hotel that's perfect for couples and families alike. So stay tuned and I will give you a full tour of the room and premises. And this is the back of the hotel facing St. Mary's River, where you have seating with some chairs and tables facing the water, and you also have seats at the restaurant where you can relax and enjoy the views with a drink and a nice meal. And actually, this was one of the highlights and selling points of this location to us, which was having a very good restaurant right next door to us called Ruddy Duck Seafood and Ale House. This place has some very nice and comfortable seating indoors and even better outdoors, as you have the picturesque views of St. Mary's River. The food was excellent, great prices, and such an awesome staff. There's also the pier where you can also hang out and enjoy the views of everything around you, like beautiful homes in the distance, the tall grasses, the birds, the calm, and of course whoever you are with. The waters are filled with all kinds of native plants and fish, and actually Maryland is known for its amazing crabs as well as for its amazing oysters and seafood. But if seafood is not for you, there are a lot of other great meat options around here, and because there's a lot of farming, the food is usually farm to table, very fresh and as organic as possible. These smaller towns really pride themselves in providing great tasting meals and that charming hospitality that keeps many people coming back year after year. So our first stop is going to be at the Piney Point Lighthouse, where we are going to explore the area. After that, we are going to head back to St. George's Island and hang out, relax, soak in the sun at this private little beach area. And lastly, we are going to go on a 2 miles hike to the Calvert Cliffs, which was such a nice surprise, and we only discovered this truly amazing and incredible spot after we arrived here, because sometimes you don't see much of what's around an area until you get there. Alright guys, so let's dive in a little bit in the history of Piney Point. This is a place that's steeped in history and maritime tradition. It was originally established as a strategic port in the early 19th century. Then it gained prominence with the construction of its historic lighthouse in 1836. So the beacon served as a vital guide for ships that navigated the Potomac River's winding waters, especially during the era when steamboats ferried passengers and goods between the busy and bustling ports. Now the lighthouse stands as one of the oldest lighthouses on the Potomac River, and to this day it continues to be a cherished symbol of the region's maritime legacy. So over the years, Piney Point would become a favorite summer destination for Washington, D.C.'s dignitaries, earning a reputation as a peaceful and scenic escape from city life. So did you know that Piney Point Lighthouse earned the nickname of Lighthouse of Presidents? Well, in the 19th century and early 20th centuries, this quiet waterfront became a favorite summer retreat for Washington, D.C.'s dignitaries, which included several U.S. presidents that sought an escape from the city's heat and bustle. So they were drawn to Piney Point's peaceful shores and gentle breezes. So we're walking towards the Piney Point Lighthouse, which is right there. The original lighthouse tower was built from locally made brick, standing at a modest 30 feet tall. By today's standards, the design might seem simple, but it was ingeniously engineered to withstand the coastal elements, such as storms, floods, and even the shifting of the shoreline, which is a testament to the craftsmanship of the builders. The area also has a strong military significance, which was also underscored during the Second World War when the U.S. Navy operated a torpedo testing facility on its shores. This is where engineers and sailors would work on ensuring the safety and effectiveness of the submarine weaponry. So on top of already being a symbol of guidance and vigilance, the lighthouse took on a new meaning as it stood watch over these secret wartime efforts. So, as you visit and learn more about this area, I think that you can really sense echoes of this past through the Lighthouse Museum, which has a ton of information for curious visitors, where it does a nice job at preserving its rich history and heritage. Although we didn't get to climb to the top of the lighthouse to check out the panoramic views because on the day we visited it was closed, I definitely recommend you to go up and check out the panoramic views, take lots of pictures, and check out the navigational instruments and read the stories of those who kept the light burning. As you walk around the park, you cannot miss the interesting and vibrant wildlife and unique plant life. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention, and that's why this place is actually named Piney Point, is because of the abundance of loblolly and long-leaf yellow pines that grow along the shores of the Potomac River. Loblolly pines tend to be shorter than that of the regular pine trees and have a bluish green color. These type of pine trees tend to grow in lowland wet areas. This is the original lighthouse bell. My daughter and I couldn't resist giving a gentle ring. It had a deep resonant sound that seemed to carry the spirit of Piney Point's history through the salty breeze. This same bell once echoed across the waters to warn passing ships in foggy conditions and signaling moments of importance to the keepers and their families. Today the bell stands not only as a reminder of the era before modern navigation aids, but also as a favorite stop for visitors of all ages, inviting everyone to connect with the maritime heritage in hands-on way before continuing their exploration of this charming riverside landmark. And right next to the lighthouse, we get to this very nice and peaceful beach area. Make sure to bring blankets and easy to transport chairs to relax here for a little bit. The sand is great for kids to play with and make sand castles. The long dock in the distance is said to be around 1,200 feet long, and it was originally built as a docking facility and tank farm for delivering petroleum products, but now it serves as a recreational pier and is accessible to visitors who can dock their boats there. As you wander around the park, you will come across the most interesting, unique, and distinctive vegetation, all kinds of wildflowers that add splashes of color throughout the season, and undergrowth that supports ferns, mosses, and other shade-loving plants that contribute to the vibrant ecosystem. Wow, look at this beautiful and super cozy little spot, which is right before getting on the pier. The sand is very fine and nice to walk on. Also, you have these shrubs and bushes that give you some shading and privacy. Although I have to warn you, you do have to be careful and really pay attention because these terrains tend to be the perfect spot for snakes as well. Most aren't poisonous, but who wants to get bitten by a snake? Definitely not me. And there you see behind me, you have the pier. There was a cute couple spending some romantic time there, so I couldn't film too much. Need to give lovebirds some privacy. All in all, I absolutely love this place, and my daughter really loved this place too. It's very clean and well maintained, perfect to relax, enjoy the weather and scenery. Everything is so nicely placed and so wildly natural that it's a perfect setting for taking photographs. We are back in St. George's Island at the tip of the island. This is where we rented a private tiny little beach. This was kind of a spontaneous thing that we did and it worked out perfectly. We parked our car in front of this very cute and charming mobile home. The place had everything someone needed. I loved the rustic and natural look of this place. Even though we had brought our own chairs and blankets, we ended up using what was on the spot. They had chairs and a table with umbrellas. It really reminded me of somewhere in the Caribbean. So we are in the middle of June and the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area is known for its crazy hot and very humid summers. And because we had a lot of warm days already, the water here was very warm, but swimming in it was going to be out of the question because of this little slithery friend. I was not going to risk getting bitten by a snake. I'm not sure what kind this one was, but it was very big and chunky and really freaked me out for a little bit. If you know what kind of snake this might be, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. So after spending about 3 hours at the beach, mostly in the shaded area, we then proceeded to pack up our stuff and head back to our place. The next day we were going to go on our 2 miles long hike to the Calvert cliffs, so stay tuned for that. The drive back is always so peaceful and so pretty with the water on both sides and the sailboats just coasting along the calm waters of the river. So the following day we got ready for the drive to Calvert Cliffs State Park, which was a half-hour drive from where we were staying in St. George's Island. The fees to enter the park is by vehicle, which is $5 for Maryland residents and $7 for out-of-state residents. There are tons of parking spaces that can fit all types of vehicles. It's very spread out, but also very convenient because of the accessibility to different facilities. This is me and Viera, and what are we going to do today, Viera?
Hike Calvert Cliffs.
Yes, we're going to go hiking to Calvert Cliffs. It's a very popular spot. It's our first time there, so we're going to see if we're going to enjoy it. We're going to give you our first impression, right, Viera?
Yep.
100% honest. Okay guys, so this little playground really grabbed my attention, and not only because I'm a mom to a high energy child who is now a young teenager that still has lots of energy, but because I seriously appreciate and respect anything that is unique and creative and a good space for little ones to have fun. The playground is made from recycled tires and is located near the parking lot. It has slides, swings, a merry-go-round, and climbing structures all made from tires. I also like how the play areas are spaced out. Nothing is too close to each other, so kids have room and space to run around. And not only is this playground located close to the parking lot, but it's also close to the restrooms as well as picnic tables, which makes this a perfect spot for families. Alright, so the park is pretty big and spacious, and there are lots of picnic tables spread out all around. Some even have grills, but I'm a little apprehensive of those as they are not always in the greatest shape. So some important tips, actually very important tips when going to hike for a few miles. Number one, bring lots of water. Also some kind of protein like a protein bar or beef jerky. Basically bring something that will pack up easily and you can carry that comfortably in your backpack for the walk. I also like to bring a small first aid kit just in case. Also bug spray, wear comfortable clothing and shoes that's appropriate for the walk and the weather. I think the butterfly is afraid of your beauty, Stephen. You're too handsome for the butterfly.
Only one butterfly can be here.
Yeah.
Social butterfly.
Yeah. Another very important thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you put on and bring sunscreen. As you get to the park, I advise you to carefully read the signs just so you know the rules and warnings about the area. Make sure to take notes of the do's and don'ts. I think it's important to respect park rules because they are there for a reason, to protect the wildlife and the visitors just the same. Alright guys, so this is where our 2 miles hiking trek is going to start off, around this little lake or large pond that's filled with dragonflies, butterflies, and all kinds of other insects buzzing around. This dramatic type of sight will continue with us all the way until we reach the beach. We take the red trail that is going to lead us to the beach and the cliffs. The trail twists around the wooded groves and open stretches, and you have some sunlight dappling the forest floor, and you can feel the Potomac breeze whispering ever so lightly through the canopy. And along the way, we are treated to the sights and sounds of Maryland's vibrant wildlife, like songbirds, darting squirrels, and clusters of wildflowers that punctuate the green with bursts of colors. If lucky, you might catch a sight of a beaver, but most of the time they are somewhere hidden away, and although hiding, you can see their masterful work of engineering as they create incredible dams with just their front teeth. Quick warning, this area is also home to a variety of snakes, so make sure to keep an eye on where you're walking and especially a closer eye on the kiddos. As we walk along the trail, we get closer and closer to the cliffs, and you notice how the landscape gradually changes and shifts, and then the woods give way to more sandy soil, and you can even smell the air changing and having a different smell and taste, and it becomes a little salty and tangy, which comes from the ancient sea that once upon a time covered this great land. As you walk, you can't help but admire and want to learn more about the habitat. You definitely must stop and take some pictures or videos for yourself because these are great memories to have and keep, and of course share it with your friends and family. The state park offers a rich tapestry of both native and non-native species of flora and fauna. The landscape is largely cloaked in thick greenery of the forest, where you have these really tall and very old trees that stretch throughout the canopies over the winding trails. This beauty is subtle, calm, melodic, with the sound of nature buzzing, but it fills all your senses and recalibrates you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So in no time, after about a good non-stop 30-minute hike, we arrived to the beach. There you have a couple of picnic tables, an information stand, you have a trash can with recycling, and a container that has toys for kids to play with in the sand. There's also a warning sign blocking off the area of the cliffs. The weather has made the cliffs more prone to erosion, so people are being advised not to walk there. But even if you can't walk along that coastline, you still have a good stretch of beach to bathe and take very nice pictures of the area. This place is really a hiker's reward. After a nice 30 minutes walk through the scenic trail, you have this amazing shoreline that is a perfectly balanced mix of serenity and prehistoric charm. And here you see how the sand meets the water, and fossilized remnants of ancient marine life can sometimes be found. And also all kinds of bird species like this family of ducks in and around the forest. I think that this is the perfect place for nature lovers. The towering cliffs are a nice backdrop that frame this calm beach of the Chesapeake Bay, and their dramatic layered faces reveal millions of years of geological history shades of ochre and taupe. The water in the summer is usually warm and great for wading and splashing along the shore, but for those who prefer to swim, you have to remember that there is no lifeguard, so you are doing everything at your own risk. So to be safe, just make sure you have checked the posted advisories there are throughout the park. Wear water shoes to protect yourself from sharp shells, rocks, or debris. Do not swim near the cliffs or immediately after heavy rains. Stay in shallow areas where footing is secure. And kids, parents, please make sure to keep an eye out for your children and do not make them someone else's worry. From what I understand, the beach is generally not very polluted because it's not heavily developed, but of course you have to keep in mind the natural and seasonal factors. After a period of heavy rain or high temperatures, there can be a temporary increase of bacteria levels. So make sure you are keeping track of water quality advisories, and you can always get this information from the local health resources before you decide that you would like to swim there, or even check with the state park workers as you enter the park. After a few hours spent at this nice little beach, we're back on the road to hike the trail back to our car. So far I've showed you the Piney Point Lighthouse Museum and the beach there, and then we drove back to St. George's Island and we spent some time soaking in the sun and relaxing at our own little private beach that we rented. Now I'm going to give you a quick little tour of our hotel room and the premises around. There aren't a lot of amenities, but it does the job and it's very budget friendly.
So as always, I like to give you a quick little tour of the room where we stay. So this is Island Inn in Piney Point, Maryland. It's a very, very nice area. You have the water right in front of you. So here we have a nice little balcony. Every single room in this hotel have a view of the water. So this is the Potomac River. It's very, very nice. The weather in June right now is very warm. It's very hot. And it's also very humid. I like how the bedroom is separate from the living area. You have two nice and soft beds. It's very spacious, very roomy, and very comfortable. And then you have this nice little kitchenette that has a microwave, a refrigerator, plenty of storage, and then you have the living room with a pull-out couch.
Next, we're gonna look at the bathroom. The bathroom is a pretty good size with a shower and a bathtub and plenty of space for your toiletries as well. So now we're gonna go outside, and here you have the lobby where you check in and check out, with the elevator right by the check-in counter and the door that takes you to the garage. The furniture and decor is a little dated but has that small town America charm. We are now heading outside, and I'm going to show you around the premises. As you step out, you can see the Potomac River straight ahead where the sun rises. The outdoor is very well maintained, really nice and simple landscaping with just the right amount of bushes and flowers, and that's Ruddy Duck Restaurant. Here's the water. The water is actually very nice and clear and clean. Get closer. And here's a nice little area where you can sit down and relax. You can have a little picnic with your family and friends. You can even have a bonfire right here. Definitely a very, very nice and beautiful spot. Very peaceful, very clear, very clean. And the people here are so nice also. So they were very helpful, gave us a lot of ideas of what to do and where to go. And this is Piney Point, Maryland. I'm going to ask my 13-year-old what she thought of this area. This is our first time here, Viera, so can you tell us a little bit what she thought of this area?
I liked it a lot. It's very pretty. And
would you come back here again?
yes.
Definitely. We would definitely be back here. I definitely recommend. So here it is. And here you have all the rooms. As I mentioned, they all have a view of the water. So no matter what you choose, you definitely have pretty good options. And conveniently, right next to the hotel, we have Ruddy Duck, this restaurant right here. We ate on our second night here. It was really, really good. Excellent service. The food was great. The inside is very nice and clean. So they open up around 4:30 p.m. They are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Here it is. And you can have indoor seating or outdoor seating. Outdoors, you have a very nice view of the bay.
Alright, my friends, thank you so much for watching until the end, and I look forward to sharing more tips, historical and fun facts, and things to do in other places very soon. Don't forget to like and share this video with friends, and also share your thoughts in the comments below.